Everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into Linux, cloud computing, Kubernetes, and all things DevOps automation, you're in the right place. Every week, I dive deep into topics like Terraform, HashiCorp, Vault, Argo CD, Ansible, GitHub Actions, and more, to help you streamline your workflows and master your craft. If you find this content valuable, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest videos. And if you know someone who could benefit from these tutorials, please consider sharing this video with them. Your support helps me create more great content for this community. Thanks for watching.
Hello, welcome. I was installing an application today, calling Argo CD, for example, and I came across one tool that is widely used by many applications, and it is called base64. So when you install Argo CD, for example, at some point they will require you to get the password from the secret. For those who know what I'm talking about, from the secret, and the secret is encoded into base64. So I wanted to stop on that part a little bit and zoom in order to explain what is base64 for those who do not know. So if you don't, please, you can just pass, because it's not going to be really interesting for you. But for someone who want to learn the basic of base64, no problem, we are together. Okay, I'm going to start really quick. So if I ask, for example, what is base64? This is the thing that I have here. So Linux base64 refers to the base64 command line utility available on Linux and other Unix-like operating system, used for encoding and decoding data using the base64 encoding scheme. Purpose of base64 encoding. Base64 is a binary to text encoding scheme that converts binary data, which can include images, audio, or any non-textual information, into an ASCII string format. This conversion is necessary because certain protocols and mediums, such as email and some web protocols, are designed to handle only text-based data. Encoding binary data into a text-based representation ensures that the data can be transmitted and stored without corruption or loss of information. And then down here they show you how it works. For example, you have hello, and then when you use the pipe character, you then pass that to base64, and then from there you will have this answer. Now that answer, you can decode it. For example, the result, you can decode it by doing this, and then you have the end result. So I wanted to go ahead and try that with you, okay? And then we can extend that with another possible thing. So if you ever face such thing like that, where you have to use base64 in order to decode a base64 code, yeah, you can use so many things. Python, for example, provide base64 encoding and decoding. JavaScript as well. You also have some online tools, but nobody wanna really send their data out there in order to start using them with, to pass their data to an environment that they don't really, or a server that they don't really control. For example, if I was to type base64 here and type enter, you will see that I have this, for example. It might be a reliable website, but I don't know, maybe it's up to you. You can say, okay, I want to decode something. You paste that there, and then you click decode. If you want a code, you click here, and then you paste that here. Okay, if you want to encode. For example, if I was to say MonLabo Linux. Oops, not sure what's that. So if I were to say MonLabo Linux, for example, and then I come here and I do this, so the result will be sent here, and with some other specific things that you can apply there, you will have a result that looks like this. Okay, and then if I wanted to decode this, so I will just click here, and then I have it. So I can paste the result here and try to decode it. So when I decode it, I see it goes back to MonLabo Linux. So this is the primary way that some applications are using such thing like this to pass data. For example, you can pass that into HTML format or CSS, and even PDF documents. You can share them with encoding format. It doesn't replace encryption at all. This encryption and encoding are using two cryptographical format that are really different. So let's go ahead with the terminal base. If you are someone who doesn't like to do that on the internet, so if I do base64 -- help, or maybe let's try to do what is base64 first, and then it says base64 encode decode data and print to standard output. That's the primary purpose of it. Now if we do base64 -- help, we have this where they tell you how to use it. For example, you can have base64 encode decode files, and then with no file, and when file is dash, or it's standard input. Then we have some mandatory arguments that we see here, options and arguments that we see here. We have, for example, dash decode, or for short -d, -i for ignore garbage, and then -w for wrap, and then you put the column number. Yeah, so if you use 0, it will be to disable new line wrapping. So line wrapping is when, for example, you have your text that goes in one line, then if you reduce the screen, the line will just go to the next line. So if you don't want to have that, you can use -w. Then you have --version and many other things. So now let's go ahead and do that. So if I do base64 and then do for example, let's first do echo, for example, and we pipe that to base64, and here so if you want to encode it, you type it like this. Here I'm going to say like, okay, like, comment, share, and subscribe. So if I type enter, so this whole text here, it's equal to this one with the spaces included. So now if I was to copy that and then I want to decode, I will do base64, you can say --decode, or you can just say -d. Okay, and yeah, so we have to echo what we want to, because we are not passing a file, so we need to echo first, or do a cat on a file or whatever. So now if I do this, oops, sorry, so if I do this, it's gonna decode the file. Okay, it's gonna decode that text, and then we will see like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, nice. You will be like, okay, that's not very useful. How can I go one level up to this? Yeah, so I have something here, a file called wakanda.png, and I'm gonna try to open that file with maybe a tool, and we are going to see for example with Photolab. Okay, so we are going to see how the tool how the image look like. So this is the image that I have. Okay, so what I propose you to do is to encode this image and then delete it and restore it with decoding. What do you think about that? Okay, so, and I want you to take a look at something. When you encode an image, audio file, whatever, you will see that the image size, if you look at the bottom here, the image size will be almost 33-37% more than what it was. So it increased some kind of we have some kind of overhead with the image when we encode it. So that's what we are going to do now, and we are going to delete this as an end result of that. So I'm going to come here and then do base64, and then I will pass the file name. Okay, so I will pass the file name. The file name will be on the what's that picture? Yeah, and then Wakanda. That will be the file name. And then from that file name, we're gonna do the dash W, because I don't want line wrapping. Okay, dash W of 0. And if I was to hit enter, you will see that I have a very long text. I can't even go to the first line. Okay, so now what I want to do with that is I want to create a text file. For example, I'm going to say Wakanda. Wakanda.txt, sorry, because that's a format with what you can share. For example, some images with some tools that only accept text-based type of data, okay, not binaries. So I'm gonna do that, and that will immediately create a file under this location here. So I have this file, I can move that to picture, and I'm gonna do MV to Wakanda and paste that into picture. Yeah, so now we can have a look at it right here, that the file is there. Oops. Now we can see that the file is here. So I'm gonna delete this one. So if I try to open that file, it will be really crazy. The content will be a lot. So here, this is the file. Yeah, this is the file. That's the whole image that you were seeing. That's being represented like this. I'm struggling to go to the bottom of the page. Yeah. So what we want to do is to close that for now. So after closing, we want to delete this file. So I've deleted the file, and there's probably no way for me to get back to it, right? And so let's see if we can restore it. So let me go to picture, and if I do ls, I have only wakanda.txt. So how do I recover the file from a text? So to do that, let's do base64. We will do wakanda.txt and then -d, and we are going to say, hey, we want that back into Wakanda, into its original content, wakanda.png. So once we do that, we have something that happens. Usually in Linux, if you don't have early output or whatever, it means that probably it works. So let's go and verify that. So yeah, so now the file is this way. So let's try to see if we can read it. And boom, voila. So I just open it and I have my file back. So if this video was helpful, please consider doing something for me. Thank you. Bye bye.